Hi, this is Debbie Aitken. I'm a certified advanced vascular EFT practitioner, level 4. Um, I've been putting off making my first video. I've always had excuses like having a bad hair day, didn't have any makeup on. Well, both of those are true today, but I'm not going to put it off. It's a Sunday afternoon and I just got back from a 2-mile walk and I feel exhilarated and had some thoughts go through my head and decided I just wanted to share them, and it didn't matter how I look. So here we go. What I want to talk about today are my gifts, and I've actually received a lot of gifts in my life. I'm on my 5th husband, and that used to bother me to say that, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I went to Robert's level 3 training. It was my 3rd time to go through the class, and every time I bring home so much more. But I realized that being married 5 times isn't a bad thing. It just shows that if I fall off the horse, I get up and get back on, so to speak, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you what gifts that I have realized I've gotten from my marriages. My first marriage, if I hadn't gotten married the first time, I wouldn't have my 2 sons, my 2 oldest sons. And if I didn't have my 2 oldest sons, I wouldn't have 4 of my granddaughters or my grandson, my oldest grandson. Yeah, that's right. I've got 7 grandkids, so I got to kind of think up who belongs to who. And then my grandson, I just found out a few weeks ago that he's going to be a daddy in May, so I'm going to be a great grandma. So if I hadn't married my first husband, I wouldn't have any of that. So what a gift. So that's how I look at it, it was a gift. And my second husband, if I had married him, I wouldn't have my youngest son and wouldn't have my 2 younger little grandsons. So I'm very thankful for both of those marriages, and I learned a lot, and I appreciate the gifts that I received. My third husband was kind of a rebound thing. He was a really good man, and the gift that I got from him was I was able to move away from my hometown and get away from being underneath my mother's thumb, because I felt like she kind of controlled me, and that was my first chance to just get out from under her thumb. And when I was married to him, I started going to nursing school. I'm a registered nurse, and if I hadn't married him, I wouldn't have gone to nursing school. We were living in a town that there was a college only 15 miles away, so I took advantage of that and went to nursing school, and he was very supportive of me, as were my sons. They were all in grade school, so I thank him for that. So that was my third big gift. And my fourth husband, I'm still trying to process some of what gift that I got from that. I know I got some, still got some tapping to do with that one. We were together a long time. But the gift that I would say I got from that was I learned that I was able to be okay by myself, because we weren't together a lot during our marriage. I decided one day I wanted to have a bed and breakfast, and so I bought this house in Kansas on a whim and went up there, and he had a job where he worked in New Mexico, and so we would go months at a time without seeing each other. And so I would say that's the first time I'd ever really been by myself. I was a single mom a lot, but my boys were there, so I wasn't really alone. So here I was in this big 3-story house by myself. So that was a gift in itself. And then my 5th husband, he's been the greatest gift of all. He's a very wonderful man. We kind of had a rocky start when we met with our dating, and we dated a while, then we broke up, and then anyway, it was just kind of rocky. And I met another guy on a dating website that became a very dear friend, and we didn't really have the chemistry as far as, becoming a couple, but we were just friends immediately. And I always admired his attitude on life. And one day I'd kind of had a rough day with Michael, and I said to my friend, I said, I'd like to have your attitude. And he said, well, I can show you how. And so we went out to eat, and then we went over to his house, and he introduced tapping to me. Didn't have a clue. I never had been introduced to any kind of EFT or anything, so this was just out of the blue. And I think we tapped for about 45 minutes, and I just boo-hooed, and it just such an amazing relief. And so a few weeks later, Robert, this was back in, gosh, I think 2010. And anyway, Robert was having a Tap Fest in Oklahoma City a few weeks later, and so my friend sent me some information on that. I think the Tap Fest was right around St. Patrick's Day in 2010. And that's where I met Robert Smith. And I went to the Tap Fest, and then and I bought the Ultimate Training Kit that day and decided that this is what I was going to do. And so I think he had another Tap Fest the next May, and I went to that. And then he had his training that summer, and I went to the level 1-2 training. And then I went to the level 2-3 training the next October and became a level 3 practitioner. Well, I still wasn't ready to really get out there and accept clients. I tapped on some friends and practiced on my family. And anyway, then I decided, well, I probably ought to take the class again. So I took it again, and my husband went through it with me the next time in 2011, and I became ready then. And so I told Robert to go ahead and put me on his website, and it was really slow in the beginning. I'd get a client here or there, but I realize now, looking back, that was also another gift because I wasn't ready. But as I've gotten more experienced and confident, my clientele has built up, and I've made some major changes in some people's lives, but mostly I've made changes in my own life. I found out the other day that I get to go to Hawaii in January to Habilitat, so there again is another gift. These are just a few gifts that I realized that I've gotten, and I just wanted to share them with everybody and get that first video out of the way, and I did. And I didn't even have to tap. Anyway, I feel good, and I feel alive. I feel alive, and there's going to be a lot more videos to come, and I promise I'll look better next time. So anyway, the name of my business is One Tap at a Time. So I have a website, and hope to see you, check it out, and hope you'll follow me on my YouTube video journey. And if any of you don't know the way that you tap, it's very simple. You just tap between your eyes, focus on something, let it go, Beside your eye, let it go. Under your eye, let it go. On your collarbone, let it go. And then grab your wrist and say peace. Take a deep breath. Blow it out and say peace. I really didn't want to get into that aspect of it too much this time. I just wanted you guys to kind of get to know who I was. I live in Oklahoma. I don't live too far from Robert. And anyway, there'll be a lot more videos to come. Just needed to get this one done. I wanted to share my story about my gifts. And just keep tapping. And hope to see you soon. Bye.